Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Gaming Pubcast. I am Martin. I'm back, episode number 11. I did see you and Tom last week, Duncan. It was very good. I was saying just before, I said I think I enjoyed it more when I wasn't in it, so I apologise for being back. But anyway, how
You were
are you,
missed.
Duncan? It has been
You
a
were
long time.
missed, and yeah,
Thank you.
it was a good episode. But now we are also missing on the video. Hang on, he's not over whatever side it is that I point at. Yeah, Tom is not here, so apologies again for the people on the audio. You can't see me pointing, but Tom is. Real life gets in the way sometimes, but he will be back as well. But I'm all good.
Yeah,
Yes.
it'd be good to.
It's been
Yeah.
a good week for gaming, I think, for me.
I am glad to hear that.
Been playing a lot of Starfield, but I have tried to get some other games in, so so I've got something else to talk about.
Wow, whatever games, and then we could touch upon Starfield, but whatever game to start with.
Well, I have tried to play the new games that have been on Game Pass this week. There was one called Solar Ash, which is typical sort of indie fare. It's a skating platformer kind of thing, quite tough in terms of the platforming. It's very colourful and the controls sort of work well, but it is tough. You get to climb up buildings or up mountains and whatnot. I only got to about the third area in it, and you can climb up a building and you can take between checkpoints. There can be 4 or 5 minutes, and you can then one slip and you're right down back at the bottom. And yeah, so in that respect, it was tough, but it was quite fluid. The story is about some black hole that's taken over a planet, and you've got to find a seed or a machine that your people have made. It's a 6-7 out of 10 game. If you like a platformer, it's not a traditional platformer. It's more you hold a button down to skate, or you can run around. It's third person, 3D, so it's not a 2D platformer or anything like that. Not really for me, but I can't really think of a game to compare it to be honest. It's non-linear. You have a sort of area where you've got to get to 5 different places or whatever, and you've got to get to each one. And you can do it in any order, particularly. So typical Game Pass indie fare. But also, what I have just started playing tonight, and so I have just done the tutorial, was Payday 3. I don't know, have you played Payday 1 and 2?
I haven't, no. But I know they're quite popular, so be
very, very much a stealth first-person shooter, but you don't have to do stealthy. You basically rob a bank or a museum or a warehouse, and in Payday 2, and looks like in Payday 3, you can walk in the building, or like if it's a bank, and you can case the joint. And there's very grindy because you can. You have to earn money to buy the things, which also you earn XP to level up. So you can only buy certain up to your level with guns and mods and skins and all sorts of add-ons. But it's all the videos you look at it will be all sort of shooting and lots of gunplay. And generally, if I'm playing, they all devolve into just shooting all the police and whatnot, but you can do it very stealthily so that you don't actually alert the police for a very long time, but you can tie up the prisoners, like the members of the public, and you can hold people as human shields. You have to use drills to drill through safes and things like that. And if anybody's played Payday 2, you pretty much Payday 3 is the same thing, just not really much of a graphical upgrade, but a little bit of a graphical upgrade, and maybe some extra things like I think they've tried to expand the stealthy part of it, so people can actually do a lot of the level stealthily if they want. Which Payday 2 was generally people just, if you played online, people just ran in with guns blazing, boom, 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 boom. And yeah, but it was also very easy to hack and mod the original one. Well, I say the original Payday 2, because you could get on PC or even on Xbox 360. I paid it, and you can even mod it on Xbox 360, so you can get all the money and all the levels quite easy, because it was all locally saved. So I don't know whether Payday 3 is now online. If it is, then you won't be able to do that as much. But yeah, great game. So if you like that kind of thing, one thing that I have found is I can't seem to find the ability to play solo, which I much prefer because I don't like people. So I tried, having an invite only party, and it just said searching for game. Maybe that it's just because it's a new game and the servers are a bit overloaded. But if it isn't solo only, if you can't play it solo, I probably won't play it that much. Probably only with friends if friends want to play it. So yeah, so that's other than Starfield, which I'm still plugging away at. Yeah, I've built a starship. I've got the most basic of outposts. Still haven't done much of the main story. I think I've done about 4 missions, and that's it. Because there's so many missions. But yeah, that's keeping me busy. Yeah. And what's been keeping you busy?
I've played a couple games this week. So I've been playing PGA. It's 2K23. It was put on PlayStation Plus, so I thought I'd give it a go as it was free. A couple of my friends have got the game as well, so I used to really enjoy the golf game, sort of back sort of probably mid 2000s. So when I used to play obviously it was the Tiger Woods games back then, before Tiger Woods was a naughty boy, and then yeah, so I used to probably like Tiger Woods 2005, 04, 05. I remember those 2 games probably the most, where I used to love those games, especially 05, where I used to have Ballesteros and Jack Nicklaus and Arnold Palmer, when you'd have your different challenges. But the actual game was pretty easy. Like, I would finish get every hole, I'd either get a birdie or an eagle. I'd be like getting holes in one on par 4s, which obviously isn't really realistic, but
not really.
This one is a little bit more difficult. I went on it. I didn't know there was difficulty modes, so I just went on it. It defaults to easy, so I went on it. And I got like 12 under par my first ever go, and I was like, okay, that's probably means that I'm going to get to a point where I'm going to be hitting like 30 under par every round. But my friend, he set up a society, which you can add people to it. There's a couple of us in there, and then they do a round, and then you sort of compete against each other. And he put it on pro, which I didn't know there was a different difficulty until I actually started going on it. And then my first swing, it just like flopped off the tee, because it's like you have to get it perfect. Ended up my first hole, in the end I exceeded the shot.
Did you max out at 12 or something? No?
I don't know what it. Yeah, I mean, it must get to about. I don't know what it gets to when says you've exceeded the limit. But I looked at it because you can see like your friends' score as you're going. And they were like, my friend who like set up the society, I think he'd had the game for a while, and he was like, for his round 4 over par, and I was like, oh, I just got like 12 under par, so I should be Ended up, I think I finished on 44 over par on my round. And I just messaged on the chat. I was like, well, that was like horrible. I was like, I probably won't play that again. And then they were like, just. But I will. I'll give it a go. I'll try and get better at it. My second round, I was about 20 odd over par, so there was a bit of an
definite
improvement.
Definite.
So yeah, hopefully I'll get to a point where I can be just hitting the odd birdie and mostly pars and stuff. But
Golf games have always been really good looking. I mean, ever since that you're saying about the first ones, I remember on the Mega Drive they used to have. I think they had Tiger Woods as well, but they had PGA. It started as PGA Tour 90 whatever, and even back then, on Mega Drive and such like, you thought the graphics can't get any better than this. And in a way, when it went to 3D, the graphics did look worse. But now they've got to the point where because it's quite a sedate game, they've always been very, very good graphics and very pretty games. I do like the occasional golf. It's quite nice. What was the other game?
Yeah, I do. The other game, so I've been on my Wii U. So I've been playing Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, which is like a game I've been playing on and off for quite a while. I think I'm on the third world. So you do different worlds, but it's like different parts of the game. So depending on where you are, it's like a different theme. So at the moment, I'm doing like underwater.
Is it a platformer?
The last one I did is a platformer, yeah. So and at the end of each sort of world, you fight a boss. So I thought, what was it? They were like monkeys, and they were like swinging around. And they do different things. They start throwing bombs at you, and then obviously you got when you start. It is good, it is quite challenging. So quite a lot of Nintendo platformers are. It can be a bit frustrating, but enjoyable at the same time. So I've always really liked the Donkey Kong games. So I've played on pretty much all of them. Donkey Kong Country all the way up to the one I'm playing at the moment. So
I've only played Country. I think I may have played one on the DS. I don't know.
There were 3 Donkey Kong Country. So there's Donkey Kong Country and then 2 and 3, and then it was Donkey Kong 64, which unsurprisingly was Donkey Kong on the N64. And then there was like a Wii one with like drums, which I think it was like Donkey Konga or something like that. But yeah, I haven't played any other handheld ones though. So
no, I think I've only played the SNES one I've never completed it, but I think I can't remember if it was DS or a Game Boy Color kind of one. But anyway, I have played a handheld one. I'm sure I did, but I don't think I've ever completed one. But it's they're always known for being a bit harder than their Mario cousins, weren't they?
Yeah, Donkey Kong Country is really difficult. But again, it's that era, isn't it, of being like I think we've discussed it a few times about the games back were pretty difficult because of that. They were quite short. So, but yeah, Donkey Kong Country though is quite a lot. Like I got it on my Wii U. So I got it from the eShop, and I got all of them on there. I should say. I got the Donkey Kong 64 as well, and I played Donkey Kong Country, and surprising how hard it is. But there is like a thing you can do on the Wii U, whereas like on the old one, you have to get to certain points before it allow you to save it, like for checkpoints.
Oh, is it going to save state?
If you like died, you'd have to go back. Yeah. And if you died, you'd have to go back like 4 or 5 levels or whatever. But on the Wii U, you can press this reset button, and it just wherever you are, even if you're just in the middle of a level. So if I do like a really hard bit, I always reset it because I'm confident that I'll probably I don't want to do all that bit again. So I think it's I can't remember what it's called. I think it's called reset or something. It just takes like a screenshot basically of where you are, and then when you like next die, you just pause it and then go onto the menu and then select it, and it puts you back to where you. But yeah, so obviously you didn't get that on the NES version, and if you did sort of die, and you'd just done like about 3 or 4 really difficult levels, and
This, I think
yeah,
we're listening to our fourth host at the moment. Your youngest is your youngest
she's,
okay at the moment?
she is. Yeah, I think she's getting ready for her milk, so
Oh,
I'm sure that'll
oh,
stop
lovely.
pretty soon.
Oh, that's all right. We like
Sounds
a
like
bit of.
it has suddenly stopped. I imagine she's.
Well,
But
in
yeah,
terms of
that's
Nintendo,
what I've been playing. I played.
well, I've been playing that Captain Toad's Treasure Hunt. No, yeah, Treasure
Oh
Hunter.
yeah,
Um, so
treasure
yeah,
tracker.
I've only got to about World 4 because I have a sort of completionist feel about the game where I have to go back and find the little pixel um, toad, and I have to get all the jewels and all this and that.
The
So
diamond, yeah, and
so
do
it
the
took,
get the tick thing where it's like
as well as the fact that obviously
gives
he
you a little
walks
challenge.
quite slowly. So, but I enjoy it.
Yeah,
It's when I played Super Mario 3D World, I really wanted a game of Captain Toad, but now I've got a game of Captain Toad. I'm like, I only want short bursts of this. It's the kind of game for me that, yeah, love it. I've done a level, brilliant. I'll turn that off now,
yeah.
kind of thing. But
No, yeah,
really
it's in a
great
game where you can
puzzles.
sit and play for hours and hours. Like I did go on it the other day, and I did about 2 levels, and that was enough. But I got it on the Wii U, so I don't know what it would be like on it because with the Wii U you can like move the
Oh,
tablet around,
you
and
move the camera with the tablet, do you?
you can do it. You can do it with obviously with the analog as well if you want to, whatever makes it easier for you. But and obviously I've got 2 screens. So I've got the main screen and then on my tablet as well. So I don't know how it sort of
Yeah,
transfers over into like different systems, but obviously you're playing it and you're saying
yeah.
you're enjoying
It's
it somewhat. So it's
enjoying it. No, yeah, as I said, I'm only on about the fourth page or fifth page, something like that. But it has, yeah, obviously the little things the way you have to go back and get all the jewels, or you have to. There's a pixel toad that you have to find somewhere on the level. Once you completed it, and so I have to go back, and so sometimes about 4 times I'm having to do each level. And I can imagine,
same one, yeah.
I think the later levels, they're getting harder and harder. So I can
Yeah.
imagine where you are, it's probably getting quite tough to get all the
Well,
jewels.
I'm not that far actually. I haven't played it that much, even though I've. But I like there's certain levels on the Wii U where you got to like use the touch screen though, so you like hit the platforms up and stuff. So which again, so
Yes,
you wouldn't
it's the
have
same
that.
on the Switch. Yeah. I think it's a, well, I
Okay,
presume
yeah,
it's a straight port with a slightly better
yeah,
resolution or something. But yeah, no, it's a good game. Highly recommend people get it if they want a good puzzler that's slow paced generally, and you can and he uses a touch screen quite well, as you said. Yeah, I enjoyed it. So we've had quite a busy week in terms of news, haven't we? Because Nintendo have had their direct, which they've
Nintendo
released
Direct.
a lot of things. And then, other than that,
Quite a
it was
lot.
a bit of a slow
Yeah,
week. And then Microsoft came along and went, "Hey, gaming podcast, you haven't got much news. Let us leak all this information." So we've got I think what's being referred to as a gigaleak for information about Microsoft and the workings of Microsoft. Shall we start with the console, the console update? It's what is it? It's the mid generation refresh. But for me, I don't
we have
know.
this.
People have seen the biggest thing was the fact that it's diskless, which
Yeah,
obviously, Microsoft were going for the cheaper one without a disk drive to keep costs down and whatnot. But now this is a full powered Series X with 2 terabytes diskless, lots of other quality of life features, low power and all this kind of thing. But yeah, would you consider a diskless Xbox if you were going for buy a Series X right now?
It depends if there's going to be a difference with the price. Because
Apparently not.
if I had the choice, then probably not. I probably would just go with the Series X because I do like the option of getting discs. Because you get sort of some sell on, don't you? If you do get rid of it, then because if you get rid of like one where you bought all your games, all those games have gone with it really. And obviously I know you can get another Series S or X and just put in your details and you get those games back. But yeah, I do like having that, like the physical copy. But I mean, I do buy a lot of games digitally, but I just like the option of, and again, sometimes you got the option. It sometimes ends up being cheaper to get it physically because when it's digital, there's only certain places you can get it. And like with Diablo, I got that physical. And I do have, like, now I don't really play it. If I want to get another, I could trade it in if I really wanted to at CX and get like another game. I still would get about £35-40 CX voucher when I've checked. So you don't get that option, obviously, if you brought them digitally. But I mean, I like it. I mean, in terms of the storage, that's probably the main benefit because if you don't do cloud gaming, the storage does go up very, very quickly. But doesn't the Series X have 2 terabytes anyway?
No, it has. It's a 1 terabyte. It does. The operating system uses less
Series
than
X.
PlayStation, so it does have it has a bit more than PlayStation, but only because it uses the operating system uses less. But no, there is a Series S that's come out, I think, or coming out very soon. The Black Series S, which is going to be 1 terabyte instead of half a terabyte, which is what the current one is. But then there is another refresh of the Series S as well, which is, I don't know, I can't remember whether that's 2 terabyte or 1 terabyte, but it's going to have the same low power usage and recycled materials and all that kind of thing. But yeah, no, so 2 terabyte is a good thing, but yeah, the same price, you're losing something that probably costs them a lot of money, but gaining something that isn't going to be costing them money because they're already putting 1 terabyte in. So all the cost of storage has come down so much now, especially for a big company like Microsoft, where I feel that they're saving, let's say, $20 on their manufacturing, and they're giving back $10 kind of thing. I know it's a bit more than $10 probably kind of thing, but yeah. So yeah, would I get one? Yes. I mean, because I went digital a long time ago. Even with the Xbox One, I went digital. Basically, I couldn't be bothered to get up from the sofa. that was really the main reason. But no, if I was if I was to get a series, if I had another device right now and I was going to upgrade, would I wait till next year? Possibly, yes, because 2 terabyte sounds good. But my boy does like watching. He does own the Harry Potter on Blu-ray, and he does like sticking that disc in, or one of those discs in, and watching that. So if he couldn't do that, he'd probably be a bit upset. But I'm sure I can pick up a Blu-ray player for next to nothing nowadays. So yeah, so if it come down in price, I would have said, yay, everybody will be lapping that up. But I think PlayStation fanboys are going to go, oh, well, it's diskless. Yeah, we had that originally and ours is cheaper, kind of thing. And people who are Xbox fanboys are going to go, I've already got a Series X that's got a disc drive. So, yeah, so I don't know who they're targeting with it, but it looks pretty. It's a cylinder instead of a cuboid. So it looks a bit more like a what's it called? Amazon Echo, an Echo Plus. Oh, there you go. You're back.
Nice. I'm back.
Mm.
Yeah, my cat came in. So, so
But
yeah,
they,
no, I'll it'd be interesting to see that come out and see if it's
but
yeah.
they've
I mean, the
also had
storage is obviously the big selling point, isn't it?
they've also leaked an update to the controller, which is basically it's going for. I think the biggest change for me is the fact that it's got the battery pack in it, but it is still swappable. And I don't know whether you can have a
Yeah,
battery pack or batteries, but but yeah, so it will be rechargeable, and you'll be able to recharge while playing, and probably having charging stand or whatever. So I personally have used a Venom battery pack for probably the
yeah,
last
yeah,
3 years that has a rechargeable stand, and it works great with the old the Xbox One style controllers and the Series controllers. So yeah,
yeah. Still can't believe that they don't just have them built in like every other controller, like PlayStation and even Nintendo have
I see, but
where you just plug it in.
I like it that you can because they are basically doing that, but they're having it so you can still swap. So you'll be able to buy a battery pack rather than having to buy a whole new controller. So if your battery is only lasting for 20 minutes, you'll be able to buy a new battery pack for I don't know £20 instead of paying £60 for a controller. Although the leak also contained that the controller will start at I think $70. I think was in the leak, so it'll probably be £70, which the current price over here is £55. I think
Yeah.
or 59. I think it's 55.
Will it have
So
haptic feedback though? That's the big question.
apparently, it's the haptic feedback is slightly more like PlayStation's, and so yeah, the haptic feedback has been overhauled. But yeah, I think if that's your main thing, yeah, you probably still want to go with PlayStation because you get the what do they call it? The controllers, with the so when it's harder to pull the stick, the triggers.
Trigger.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, I can't think what it's called. But anyway, so if you're playing a shooting game, it's easy to pull the trigger, and if you're playing
Yeah.
a racing game, it's a bit harder, kind of thing. But it
You
hasn't
can
got
feel
that.
it like changing playing certain
Yeah,
games. Like,
yeah. I mean that's
depending
probably
on what
one
you're.
for me. That's probably one of my favourite features of the DualSense controller. I do like that because it can be adaptive per game, and yeah, makes it really immersive. And what else? What
And
else
then
was there? I can't remember. There was. Blimey, I'm just trying to remember what was in the leak. There's so many things. There was also the fact that one thing that people who don't like Xbox really concentrated on was the fact that Phil Spencer talked about buying Nintendo, and I don't know if you know there was a report from late 90s, I think, when Bill Gates walked into a meeting with some Nintendo people and basically offered something like 25 billion to buy Nintendo, and they literally laughed him out the room. Uh,
yeah,
so
I know I did.
so that was that was a very reminiscent of that. But I think if you looked at the emails, it was more sort of, I think, them going, that would be cool. And I
Yeah.
don't think there was anything more than that. And because at the end of the day, they are business people. And yeah, Bill Gates was a bit stupid 24 years ago, or whatever it was. But Phil Spencer ain't that stupid. Um, and yeah,
Wonder if
it
Nintendo would have a price though.
well, I think it would dwarf the Activision Blizzard. personally. Yeah, I think
you're not just
sticking.
getting games, you're getting hard.
Yeah, you get the
consoles
whole
as well with it.
ecosystem, and you
And
get the
then you'll
whole.
get Mario, Zelda,
Exactly.
Donkey
Yeah.
Kong, and Metroid, and then
So
obviously
many
we have
things.
had Nintendo Direct. Speaking about
Yes,
Nintendo,
some
we did.
quite
There
good
were
ones.
quite a few stuff come out of it. A lot of games that are going to be like bought into the Switch in terms of like the Paper Mario's coming over, and then they got the Super Mario RPG.
Are there any that
put
you
on
are
the
going to
Switch.
buy straight away?
I don't have a Nintendo Switch, so
Oh,
unfortunately,
of course, yes.
Duncan, I won't
Sorry,
be
you
able
can't.
to.
Is there any that you would buy straight away?
I mean, Super Mario RPG. I enjoyed that when that was originally out, so that's quite exciting. If you're
So is
like
that a
that.
remaster?
Peach,
Is it or remake?
yeah, it's like a remaster. So, yeah, Luigi's Mansion 2. They're bringing out,
That's a remaster,
re-releasing
is
it
it?
again.
Yeah. One
But in
thing
terms of like new,
yeah,
Peach has got her own game now.
ooh,
Princess Peach Showtime. So I looked at the trailer. It's a bit like a platformer, but Peach can be into different characters depending on what the situation. So there's a one where she'll have a sword, and there'll be one where she's a detective. I looked at it on the trailer, and she's got there's a show that is being sort of at risk, and Pete's just got to save the show basically. But I reckon, looking at it, it's not going to be, if you're looking for something like God of War or Spider-Man or Starfield, you're not going to get that. But if you know what you're going to get with Nintendo, it's going to be an enjoyable game.
exactly.
Depending, or all they rarely bring out a game that isn't enjoyable, like
Yeah,
Yoshi and Kirby, Toad, all their little spin-offs they do from them. Obviously, their main ones like from Mario and in Zelda, they're always got their own little quirks.
One game that I
fan
noticed
bases,
that
so I imagine
I think is quite it's probably coming out on other platforms as well. I don't know. Is the Tomb Raider 1, 2, and 3 remasters?
Yeah, remastered. Yeah,
Now, Tomb Raider 1, obviously, I'm from the generation where I was an adult when I was playing it. And it was a tough game back in the 90s. So, people who play it, there's nothing to. It is almost Souls-like in terms of its difficulty, because it doesn't tell you where to go. There is some parts that are linear, but that was a really hard game. And obviously, back in the 90s, you didn't really have as much of the internet, so you couldn't look up a guide instantly. So there is that, but these are tough games. So any youngers that are going to play it, just be prepared. They are hard games.
I'm sure the butler's going to be happy.
Yeah, that's going to be the first thing that everybody's going to do, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just lock the butler in the freezer.
Lure him in. Even that was quite difficult though, because you were trying to shut it before he got
I tried
out,
to explain that to my wife the other
fun.
week, and I said about how you have to everybody locks the butler in the freezer, and she went, "Why?" And I was like, "Okay, because it's funny, and it is hard to explain to a non-gamer. It's just it has to be done, isn't it? It's the kind of thing that gamers
I remember
do.
like playing it I was at primary school at the time, and then first thing we'd do is, should we put the butler in the fridge, in the freezer, and then we'll actually try and do some of the game. But it's like the more important than anything else. And then, because in the match you could there was like hacks in there, weren't there? So you get somehow on the roof and stuff like that. And
because locking him in the fridge, that was number 2, wasn't it? I think was it
I think.
Yeah, because number 1, was there the mansion in number 1? I can't remember. Oh, that's anyway. But yeah. So number 2, I think it was. So, but yeah, you load up number 2. The first thing that everybody's going to do is, oh look, I can lock the butler in the fridge, freezer. It was. Good
It
times.
is a bit
Good
annoying
times.
that he constantly follows you. Though. That's it did irritate me a little bit.
You just
Probably
hear
maybe
the
that was why.
chinking of the
I just like.
teacups.
And the other thing as well, Duncan, F-Zero 99 came,
Yes, this looked interesting.
which looks similar to like not obviously a different game, but Tetris on the Switch,
Yeah,
where
the
you just play
Tetris
with
99, and
99.
there was another 99. I think I can't remember. Wasn't there a Mario
Was
99
it
or something?
Bomberman? Bomberman? I don't know. Oh yeah, there was. There was where
Yeah,
you're playing.
but they only release them for a certain
Yeah,
short time, don't they?
yeah, the Mario one was for the 30th anniversary, wasn't it? So they only released
Okay.
it, and then but the Tetris one is still about, isn't it? Or is
Is
it?
it? I don't
I
know.
mean,
I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, when I had to switch, it was. I haven't heard that it's not around anymore. I might be wrong though, but
Well, I did see a review
yeah,
of
F-Zero
the
99.
F-Zero 99, and they said that that when people are knocked out, that I don't know whether their ships are left there or something, but apparently it's like playing
The
pinball.
watch.
It's like playing pinball with F-Zero. So now for me, that just sounds hilarious and funny, but I can imagine people who take it very seriously, the racing game, it would probably not be good. But for me, the hilarity of just
Quite fun if you're the ever ramming into a car that is no longer
yeah.
the
If you want to take it
yeah
seriously,
no
don't play it. If you do want to, if you want to have a laugh,
does
play it.
if it's anything like Tetris, though, it'd be extremely addictive. I remember when I had my Switch, I was like a game that I would just play and then never won though, not once on that one. I got to like the
Oh,
final two once. Yeah, I got to final two, and then you'd have like and I just then started getting bombarded with things. So,
yeah.
but yeah, it was a
It's
good
always the
game.
way, isn't it?
But
If
and I
Tetris
don't know if there's
99
anything else you want to.
is going on, then we'll have to make sure that we try and get you some way to play it. Just like we've got to get you to play Starfield, so we can get you that win.
Get me that win. Yeah. Make my yeah. I was going to say that's a bit.
That
But
will
yeah, there's
your
quite a
life
bit
will
from
be complete.
Nintendo though. Exactly. Yeah. Just now I've had my children. The next thing is to get a win on Tetris 99 or maybe F-Zero 99 out of here. So yeah, but quite a bit from Nintendo Direct. I mean, there wasn't anything major because obviously they've had like their big releases in terms of and I guess they're getting quite close to when the new Nintendo console will come out, so I guess they're not going to bring out like a new Mario game or anything like that at this moment in
No,
time.
then
So I
again,
imagine they
though, I mean,
want to save that.
Breath of the Wild obviously came out near the end of the Wii U, but the Wii U's life was quite short. So yeah, I mean, I think Nintendo will already be making a game that will work probably on the Switch and whether that's Mario, whether that's Kirby, all these kind of things. That there'll be, and any game that comes out now, you just know that they'll be re-releasing it as soon as a launch title on Switch 2.
Maybe they had to get a new Mario Kart because that one came out about on the Wii U as well, wasn't it? That was one of
Indeed. Oh, there was one other game. There was, sorry, two other games. Trombone Champ. I don't know if you've ever seen it, the trailers for it. I don't know how it would work on the Switch, but it's hilarious to listen to and watch people. If anybody's got a Steam Deck, I'd highly recommend Trombone Champ. Not to be good at it because you will be terrible at it, but it is quite hilarious just because you use the gyro and it's and yeah, you will sound terrible. You won't do very well. You won't get good scores, but it's hilarious. So that's coming out on the Switch. Don't know how the controls will work. I presume they will use gyro. The other one was Dave the Diver. That, as you said to me offline, that we did talk about before. It's a great game. It's coming to the Switch. Yeah, so when that comes out, get it. Yeah, I'd highly recommend it. And then Among Us is coming. Is Among Us not already out on the Switch?
Well, I don't know, but it was on their direct, so I assume not if they're saying
Yeah.
that. But unless
That's
it was
good.
a brand new map. They got
Okay.
a brand new map, not the actual Among Us. Yeah, that's when you were thinking of but so the new console, like you said, that when that ever does come out, they've got a lot of games they could put on there. New Super Mario Kart, Metroid Prime as well, because obviously they did bring out a Metroid, but it wasn't Metroid Prime, so see a lot of people.
Was it Metroid Dread? I think, wasn't it?
Yeah. Which it got good reviews, but it wasn't a Metroid Prime. So, and the last one was on the Wii, so it's quite a while ago. So I know they restarted the whole project, didn't they? I think they were sort of quite a bit through it, and then it didn't meet the standards for the Nintendo, and he did like a whole sort of well, I wouldn't say a press conference, but he did like a video, essentially just saying we're going to restart the whole project because it wasn't Metroid Prime has to be.
It shows that it's they're keeping their standards. That's good.
Yeah, quality with Nintendo.
Yes,
they want to make sure their games.
They're not selling their games onto CDI anymore because of contractual things. But yeah, so no more CDI games.
Yeah, they learned that lesson.
Oh yes, right.
So horrible for them watching Zelda and Hotel Mario and all those games on the CDI.
Dear. Well, let's make me feel old.
Yeah, I was going to say, should we move on to
the big one? I think the big one for me is GTA came out 10 years ago. 10 years, and they're still milking it. Which, to be honest, they should, because it is an absolutely amazing game. Yeah, whether you like GTA or not, it's an amazing piece of game development. Simple as that.
It is a very good game, yeah, and I just can't believe it came out on the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3, and we're still playing it 2 generations on. I would like a new.
I queued up for it. I did.
Yeah. I mean, I what one did I queue up for? I think it was San Andreas was the one. They opened up midnight.
You went to a midnight opening. Oh no.
Yeah, it was.
I've never lived anywhere that's done a midnight opening.
Yeah, I was at secondary school, so it was like quite a novelty going into town like in the evening. So me and my friend sort of arranged to do it, and so we had to have a parent with us because it was an 18, and also we could drive. So that took a bit of the edge off, but it was still quite fun to do it. But yeah, I mean, Grand Theft Auto 5, amazing game, but like I do want Grand Theft Auto 6 to come out, which I know there's been some leaks on that. I think
I think we're probably looking at I reckon at least 2 years, if for that. I think. Yeah, so 2025 at least, probably 2026. I think is that when I think they've said. But anyway, minimum 2 years. I don't think we'll see it in 2024. Definitely not. I think they might have learned their lesson from revealing and promising a date. But then look at Starfield. Starfield was meant to come out last year, and it didn't. So, GTA 5 I think was delayed by almost a year. GTA 4 was delayed. They're always delayed.
And if they do say a date, they put themselves under pressure, and then they potentially then will release it early when it's not ready, because they're like, well, like a bit like Cyberpunk, they put like a date and it kept getting pushed, and then in the end they were like, oh, we'll just have to release it. And then there was a few issues. But
so PS2
Grand Theft Auto.
Kingdom Hearts came out 21 years ago, and I've never really got into that. What you call it?
Yeah,
That
I played a
group of
couple of them.
games.
Yeah,
But
yeah, they're good.
although
It's
I've
really
enjoyed
just
Final Fantasy, yeah, and the storylines are just so convoluted. You need to have a Wikipedia. Yeah, it's just terrible. just, just the storylines are you never understand them, and anybody that does understand it, well done you. But they're so convoluted. It's not for the average person. And yes, it's Disney. Go figure.
yeah. I quite like that. I quite like you go like different parts, and it's like Disney themed. So that's quite good. But Resident Evil 3 came out as well 24 years
Just
ago
24
tomorrow.
years.
So
The fact that the third one
see,
came out 24 years ago makes me feel really old.
that
It
was out
was
on the
out of 1, 2, and 3. It was the poorest out of those three.
yeah.
It was the
I think
most extra. It was the biggest, and it came on at least 2 CDs or maybe 3. I don't know, 2 or 3
yeah, and then
CDs.
it was like released on other consoles as well, wasn't it? I know obviously
Mm.
they've done a remaster. They did do a remaster version, yeah. But it was on like the GameCube and the next generation on after the PlayStation. But yeah, I mean, obviously you're playing it, and then Nemesis would just randomly turn up, wouldn't he? You'd have to, which was added the jeopardy to
Oh
the
yes,
game. But yeah, in terms of the other two, obviously, I think Resident Evil 2 was the one which most people
yeah, oh,
sort of
definitely. I Resident
say
Evil
is
2
the
was
best.
so good, so good for the time. For the time.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean
and
the static backgrounds, although they bring back great memories, they probably don't work as well. All that camera, the tank controls, the turning and going forwards and that kind of thing, it doesn't really work well. So that's why the remakes are done really well, because they work for the modern audiences. But yeah, number 3, it was good. It was good. It had to live up to 1 and 2. So it was still a sort of 9 out of 10 game kind of thing, maybe an 8 out of 10. It
yeah,
just it just wasn't quite as, and it wasn't scary at all, except for you had when the Nemesis turned up. But I don't think, was it random, or was it? I think it was just when you was slow. I can't remember, but it's been 20 plus years since I played it. But yeah, I can't remember if it was random. I know it's random in the remake, where he just randomly turns up. I think. Again, I haven't played the third one. Have you?
um, I've played it was a demo, but yeah, so I can't really, I don't know how much you can get, but he did turn up in the demo, which was nice of him
Okay.
to do. Um, I was just trying to enjoy it, to be like, okay, let's see what it's like, see if it's any good, and then yeah, he turns up, and then you
Ruins your
can't
day.
really, you can't really kill him. Yeah, exactly. All you can do is run away from him. Um, there was like cheats, weren't there, where you could like become a bit of tofu and stuff like that. I
Oh,
remember.
well, I think was that was number 2. I think was it. Was that Resident Evil 2?
Was that number two? I thought it was number three,
Yeah,
but maybe
I think because you could have Ada. There was Ada Lovelace, who is there's been DLC released for Resident Evil 4, because in Resident Evil 4, the original one, you had to complete the game, and then you could see it from Ada's perspective. And now they just released the DLC for that, of the Resident Evil 4 remake, as paid DLC. So I think that's annoyed a few people, the fact that it was free in the original and now it's paid DLC. But it is fully fleshed out DLC and almost a completely different game, sort of. But that's what it was in the original. So should it have been free? Yeah, maybe. I think so. But yeah, that's the society we live in nowadays. So
yeah, I'm just
yeah.
looking at loads of games out, but I could go on, but
Good go on.
See,
Well, yeah, we've got
we are
1994 arcade Tekken, Katamari Damacy came out 19 years ago. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 came out 23 years ago. Akami 17 years ago. My God, Oddworld Abe's
Star Wars
Odyssey.
Battlefront came
Star Wars
out
Battlefront.
19 years ago.
The original one. Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah,
Oddworld
I
Abe's
did
Odyssey
enjoy.
came out 26 years ago. That really does make me feel old because I bought that. Oh, jeez. God. Fantastic game. Really hard, though.
Def Jam Fight for New York came out 19 years ago. The Def Jam games have got like a bit of a cult following now. The Def Jam.
Yeah, because let's face it, they're
yeah.
not very good games.
Do you not like them? Do you not like being a
No.
rapper and trying to fight other rappers? Thought that was like the dream. Hopefully
Yes.
we don't get there.
It's what I always want
Def
to do.
Jam.
No.
Having rap battles.
Not for me, and not just because it's the rappers and whatnot. You know, some of them, yeah, pretty cool. But no, the games were never great. I don't think I'm probably alone in saying that. Yeah, but yeah, they're not. What was the game that I bought because it came with a free controller? Wu-Tang Clan. It was like a one-on-one beat 'em up, and it came with a Wu-Tang icon shaped controller.
Yeah, I remember you said about this.
And it was it was
tried to get rid of it and but kept the tried to keep the controller.
I tried to return the game without the controller, and they went, nope. Yeah, terrible controller, terrible game. Yeah, no, didn't like it.
I'm just looking at Def Jam Fight for New York got 83. Metacritic.
Oh, well, then I stand corrected.
Maybe that one.
I don't think I've ever played that.
Yeah, I think it was the original one, which wasn't as Def Jam Vendetta. Maybe that's the original. I think.
Maybe. I don't think I particularly played them that much, so
maybe we'll have to buy it. Yes, I'm going to buy myself a GameCube just to get Def Jam Fight for New York. Or PlayStation 2 probably be a cheaper way of doing it.
Yes, I shall buy those games too. Well, maybe I'll do I will do a review next week if I can manage to purchase a copy of it. Yeah, so yeah. If I can purchase a copy of it and play it, I will.
People who aren't
do a review in the next episode.
I bet you're going to come back. You'll be wearing a bandana. You'll probably have a gold medallion on because you'll get so into it.
I would try and say words and things that make me look like a rapper, but I wouldn't have a clue where to start because I'm old and grumpy. So
challenging me to a rap battle middle of the podcast. But I look forward to that. I will look forward to your.
Maybe I'll get some lingo, but I will get some lingo on a 19-year-old game. Was it 19? You said Def Jam.
Yeah, and that was the second one, wasn't it? So Def Jam Vendetta.
So I'll get some 19-year-old lingo for next week. Although this is a family-friendly podcast, we don't swear in this podcast, so I may have to beat myself a few times. Maybe I'll get a beep sound bar or something so I can beat myself. But I will play that game by next week. I promise. I promise the listener.
Delighted to hear that. People watching this and listening to this will have to tune in now because
indeed
that's what we got to do now. We're gonna have to think of ways to bring people back in. So you have to leave in a cliffhanger.
Yeah, maybe the cliffhanger is Duncan is going to become a rapper by next week.
And review a 19-year-old game to give you an honest opinion, and you can make a decision if you want to go out and buy it or not.
Hey, if it's got an 80 plus rating on Metacritic, I can see it being all right. I've no problem.
You're excited now.
I mean, I just have the Wu-Tang Clan game, which is nothing like the Def Jam games in the back of my mind, and it was bloody awful.
Yeah. let's not judge him on the Wu-Tang gown. I'm gonna have a
No.
quick look. It is getting late, and I know you probably want to get off now and F Jam. So yeah, the Wu-Tang, was that Shaolin style Wu-Tang? Was that the game, or was that a different one?
It was a one-on-one beat 'em up, but I think they tried to cross Street Fighter with Mortal Kombat with rapping. And I was probably 19 years old, kind of thing. So it was PlayStation 1.
Yeah.
PS1 fighting game Wu-Tang Clan. There we go. Wu-Tang Shaolin style. Yeah, it was on the PlayStation. 1999. Oh, December. Oh, I see. If we waited a couple of months, it would come up in the for a 24-year-old. But yeah,
I can't wait.
That was not very good. I'm not playing that again because that was terrible. I'm just looking at the intro video. Oh god, the graphics and I shall find. What was it I was looking for? Def Jam. That's the one. Def Jam.
Yeah.
And which one was it I have to play now? Oh god.
I think it was Fight for New York, but
Fight for New York. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if you like Fight for New York, you've also got Vendetta that you could try out as well. So, but maybe go for Fight for New York. It looks like
just
maybe
message
that's
you that
the better rate.
Just for just so I can remember which one I'm looking for. Anyway, right. I think that's all we've got to say.
It's been a pleasure.
It has been a pleasure. Welcome back, Martin.
Yeah, it's gone another hour. I know. I've missed it. I'm happy to be back. Hopefully, we'll have Tom back as well next week.
Hopefully.
Three Musketeers.
Indeed. Yeah, we're.
If not,
if you're listening, Tom, missed you. Bye. But so like and subscribe and all that stuff. And hopefully,
and see you all next week.
Indeed. Right. Bye.
Bye.